But these players wear shoes.
We got one more big piece of news. You're getting ahead of yourself there,
Sorry.
buddy. Whoa.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. The sale.
The sale of the century.
Yes.
Also, during this past week, it was completely out of the blue announced that the Los Angeles Lakers, the Buss family, will be selling their majority stake to
Mark
Walter, who is a minority holder of the Lakers already. He's going to be selling he's going to be owning the Lakers. He's going to be the majority owner. So, crazy sale, reportedly being done for $10 billion.
Which is setting the new mark for franchises.
Which is crazy because there's been a few sales of like smaller franchises, not smaller, but just not in LA or New York, or even in Golden State. I mean, that team hasn't been sold, but like in smaller markets, like the Commanders sold for around $6 billion
To
I believe.
Magic, yeah.
And then the Celtics were sold earlier this year. It was announced
6.4
for
something
6.4, which was just above the Commanders price, and it was like the highest sports sale ever. So now to reportedly almost double that, that is nuts. And also, this was completely out of nowhere. There was no inkling that the Buss family was going to sell their stake.
And it also makes you feel good that the Lakers are worth more than the Celtics, right?
Yes, it does. You may have one more championship, but we have more money.
Yeah. We did it!
Anything is possible.
You brought up a good point, or a good stat. Who would have thought that the Lakers and Celtics would be sold in the same year?
Same year.
The two most storied franchises in the NBA getting sold in the same. It's kind of insane to think about. Obviously, we don't know what position the previous owners are in. Jeannie Buss supposedly was in talks to make this sale for years already.
That's what the rumors are. Yeah.
So I just wonder what the reason is behind doing it now. You know.
Well, I mean, like when you're at that level of wealth, right? It's like, even though you obviously have a lot of spendable money, a lot of it is like valuation.
Right.
Like Jeannie Buss is worth, now $10 billion, or whatever. She was worth X amount, but a lot of that was because she owned the Lakers. I do think it's important to note that, for most of these other sports owners, it's almost like a hobby. Like Steve Ballmer, he bought the Clippers, but he doesn't need to make money off them. He would obviously like to make money off them.
His stuff coming in from somewhere else.
But his Microsoft money he's never going to be insecure about money.
Yeah.
Where with the Buss family, when Dr. Buss bought the team in the 70s,
that's all he had.
He leveraged all his other wealth and businesses to buy the Lakers and the Kings at the time and the Forum. Like, he leveraged everything to get his hands on the Lakers. So the Buss family as a whole, this was their business. Like, making money off the Lakers was the name of the game. So I do think the sale makes sense from the point of, like, now they can just kind of rest on their laurels and, like, they have money for the rest of their lives without having to worry if the team is going to do poorly or not.
Yeah, that's true.
So it makes sense, I think. Supposedly Jeannie is still going to be acting governor of the Lakers. We'll see how that goes.
Because you brought up what happened to Mark Cuban, so it might be a different situation, but never know.
And Mark Walter, of course, is the owner of the Sparks. He is the owner of the entire women's hockey league, one of the owners of the league, and also, of course, the majority owner of the Dodgers. So, the Dodgers are the best team in baseball. They have been one of the franchises that is able to not only spend smartly, but also have, like, they always are able to find new talent. And obviously, the minor league situation for the MLB is way different than the NBA, but he's been all in all a good owner and able to put talent on the field, not just from paying people to come, but also finding talent and making them talented players from not nothing, but from the ground up. So I think as a Lakers fan, I'm excited. It's sad to think of the Buss family not being involved with the Lakers anymore. But I do think the time for change is now. And, with Luka becoming the face of the franchise, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be interesting.
Brian Windhorst brought up a good point. Shout out, Wendy. He brought up that the thinking and the strategy behind the Bus brothers and Genie is kind of old school. You know, Mark Walters is obviously a win now. You brought up the Dodgers. They're obviously
Yeah.
In position to win multiple championships, not just because of the players they brought in, but good scouting, a good GM, things like that. Obviously, the Lakers have some of those things in place already with Pelinka and all that. But I kind of agree with the fact that maybe Genie and them are a little too loyal to certain players. How they thought about signing certain players here and there. I think now with Mark Walters, he won't care about certain things and just be like, okay, maybe we need to just get the best. We're gonna win. So in that sense, I kind of agree with Wendy that maybe it was just they just run their time owning the Lakers, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of out of date. They're thinking of how to run the Lakers organization.
I mean, the Lakers especially, like historically and to this day, they keep it all in the family.
Yeah.
Can't remember his name right now, but our head of scouting is a Bus family member.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Genie dated Phil Jackson for a very long time,
Yeah.
who is close with the Lakers. Pelinka, Kobe's agent, obviously had a relationship with the Bus family before he was there. We briefly had Magic as GM, who is a family friend of the Bus family, a longtime family friend. So there is that aspect of maybe the best people weren't being brought in.
Mm-hmm.
I personally like Pelinka. There's a lot of critics of his just because it seems like every offseason, the Lakers need one big piece. They need this, and I would say more or less we fail to get good talent in during the offseason. But these trades he's made over the last few years have been very good.
I agree. I agree.
So we'll see. I'm kind of hoping that there's not too much of a shakeup as far as the staff, the front office. Probably, if there is, it wouldn't be this season. You don't usually come and just clean house as a new owner. It sets a bad look. You wait a season, generally speaking. And then if you don't win the championship, you can blame it on, they didn't meet expectations. So we'll see. It's going to be an interesting future for the Lakers, but I think that's the exciting part of it is that now things, I don't know. It did feel like the Lakers were kind of old school, so hopefully
maybe it's time for a change there.
Yeah.
Kind of a trip. Mark Walters and his group acquired the Dodgers in 2012. Dodgers saw the first World Series 2017, so 5 years. I'm not putting the Lakers on that timeline, but it showed that they really cared about getting there sooner than later. Gonna be interesting to see if the Lakers can kind of or where they'll be at in the next 2 to 3, will they be in the finals within the next 5 years?
Yeah.
But it is, like you said, it's exciting to see a new fresh face to own the Lakers. Excited to see what they'll do with the team.
Yeah, I think obviously very different in baseball where you can kind of spend almost unlimitedly on the players.
Yeah.
That semi-hard cap, the soft cap of the NBA definitely makes that challenging. But you have Luka Doncic and you have LeBron James, so you should be. The goal is a championship within easily the next 5 years, probably 3.
Because the Mark Walters and them got the team, and they instantly made that crazy trade with the Red Sox. I don't know if you remember, for Hanley Ramirez, Adrian Gonzalez, all these. They brought in all these crazy. They brought in Manny Ramirez at one point, and ever since then they've really just kind of went for it in terms of just getting stars over here. So. What I'm saying is, I wonder if that transfers over to the Lakers as well, and I don't see why it wouldn't.
We'll see. Yeah, he's Mark Walter is a smart spender, or at least the Dodgers are. I mean, that could be Andrew Friedman, who is a hell of a general
Can we
manager.
defer money in the NBA as well?
Seriously, that would be crazy. But yeah, that's kind of those were the 3 big ones over this the off season.
Just started
so far, and like you said. Shams Charania has reported that it's going to be a big one. So
He doesn't lie.
no lie.
No lie from him.
So thanks for watching this video, guys. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below.
And if you want to catch our latest episode, click the link down there. And if you want to check the newest Copper drop, click the link up there.